in hurricanes, as you know, the night before, you see people kind of staggering around. They've had a couple. We've seen a little bit of that here in Miami Beach, but not much at all. People seem to be taking this very seriously.
Yeah, as well they should. I mean, this is a monster storm. They should all take heed and leave. Anderson, please be safe. We'll see you on the air soon. Anderson Cooper reporting for us live in Miami. We'll get back to him if need be. We want to get to CNN's Miguel Marquez live for us right now in Fort Lauderdale. Miguel, thank you for joining us so much. It's Friday night. People typically are out and about. Set the scene for us. What are you seeing?
You are exactly right, Don. People should be out and about, and it looks like ghost town. It is shutters on a lot of these shops and stores. The roads are mostly empty. There are some people out, but look, there are millions of people across this state on the move, getting out or in shelters tonight. We saw some people in far west Palm Beach County today, just south of Lake Okeechobee. These are people who are the most vulnerable, not only from the storm that might hit almost directly there, but the rains that will fall in the lake there and north of it, the watershed. It could stress the levees that are around that lake. There's about 143 miles of levees around that lake, and it could burst those. That is a concern. Almost the entire area south of that lake, immediately south of that lake, is at risk. But clearly people are heeding the order, because as Anderson was saying, we drove down from that area into this area. Gas stations are open. There's no lines. The restaurants and the stores that are open, there's almost nobody in them. Clearly people have gotten out of town, or they are hunkering down in their homes or hotels that they know are built to withstand storms. Don?
All right, Miguel, stand by. Anderson's in Miami. Miguel's in Fort Lauderdale. Also in Fort Lauderdale, CNN's Alexander Marquardt joining us now live. You're in a mandatory evacuation order zone. Are people heeding that warning, that order, Alexander?
Well, it looks like they are tonight. It's actually quite quiet around here. There are far fewer people who we saw during the course of the day, but there are a couple of guys back there. But I do have to say, Don, there were a surprising number of people who were out and about today, out here on the beach at a nearby bar, which was just jam-packed all day with people getting a few more drinks in before they went home. Now, that evacuation order, we should note, is for a very thin strip along the coastline here in Fort Lauderdale. It extends eastwards from the federal highway. So the people we spoke say they are not in that mandated evacuation zone. They feel comfortable staying at home. Maybe they live on higher ground. They believe that they live in sand, these winds. They have hurricane gutters. They boarded up their homes and have the supply. That question will really be answered tomorrow, whether this in fact becomes a ghost town. There still is activity around here. On top of the mandatory evacuation order, there's a curfew to go into effect tomorrow. Don?
All right, Alexander Marquardt in Fort Lauderdale. Appreciate all of our correspondents. I want to get now to CNN's in the CNN Weather Center with the latest on this. This hurricane is going to intensify. What's the latest path for?
Well, the latest path actually takes pretty much, we're thinking, over Cuba. In fact, the next advisory to come out in just less than an hour from now, they may haul the ball over Cuba. This takes it a little bit further west than some of the original models were trending, so this may have impacts on where the track of the storm goes from here. But right now, it's just to the north of Cuba. It's expected to continue to the west and then make its sharp turn towards the north. Right now, winds about 155 per hour, but that is only 2 miles per hour below Category 5 strength, and we expect it to get up to that level in the coming hours. Here's a look at that track. Again, we expect it to be a Category 5 storm as it crosses over the Florida Keys. Then, when it gets to the main peninsula of Florida, likely to be around a Category 4 as it crosses over the southern region. We still have hurricane watches and hurricane warnings for much of this region here. Again, basically Sarasota to Fort Pierce and down is where we have the warnings, but those are likely to expand north as we get closer to that landfall time, which at this point is expected to be very early Sunday morning. Storm surge is still expected to be one of the big factors with this storm. From West Palm Beach stretching all the way down toward Key West, storm surge is expected to be about 5 to 10 feet. On the southwest side, Naples down to Key West, we're talking 8 to 12 feet. Then a little bit north of that, around the Fort Myers area, 5 to 8 feet. But even places far north as Tampa could be experiencing 3 to 5 feet of storm surge. And rainfall, while we nowhere near what we had in Harvey, it's still going to be plenty high enough to trigger some flash flooding. Widespread, you're talking 4 to 6 inches of rain, but there will be several pockets that could pick up in excess of 10 inches of storm. And let's face it, a Category 5 storm, even high-end Category 4, you're talking incredibly high winds as well as wind gusts. And because the storm is so huge, you've got hurricane force winds that will extend on both sides of the coast. So, Don, it really doesn't matter whether you're on the East Coast side or the West Coast side. You're likely going to get hurricane force winds for several hours as it treks north.
All right, we'll continue to follow Allison Chinchar, and appreciate that. Joining now on the phone is Beth Martinsik. She is a crowd shelter tonight, in a crowded shelter tonight with her young family. Beth, thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. You're there with your 3-month baby, Ivy, and your husband, Al, right?
Yes, been here since last night.
Yeah. And the baby's 3-month birthday at the shelter. How are you all doing?
It's been a long, less than 24 hours. We're holding up though.
So tell me your story. Where do you live and what happened?
We live in Miami Beach, and there was a mandatory evacuation, so we headed up to Southwest Ranches in North County to stay with his mother. But once the storm intensified and it just started being a little bit too scary, we decided to head for shelter. So we came here around midnight, maybe 12:30, and we've been here ever since.
So you decided to go there instead of with his mother, right? You made that decision late last night?
We all came. His mother, his 2 cousins, and we're waiting for the evening uncle to let him in. They stopped the shelter now, so it stopped admitting people. But hopefully, since we have family here already, some more in.
Let me ask you this. I have to ask you about the shelter and the condition. What is it middle school?
Right, by middle school.
How many people are there?
They said they were going to cap it at around 900. So I believe around that many. They started in the gymnasium, and then they started, once the gymnasium was packed, they then started cooking cafeteria. They got all the tables, and now there's mattresses and big bags, cafeteria in the home, the room. Every branch of this place is covered with blankets, pillows, bottles of water. They're everywhere.
So did you bring supplies so they can use it? Was a combination?
They just bring the bags, so we didn't know what we were in, so we were already there in the bags. We were on most of the game. But they are back home, so you know, Texas like there, and some are be.
Now, people there all ages, from babies to the elder, correct?
Yeah, all sports, all ages.
It's hard to imagine this really to go through, but when you're in, what is that piece?
Well, it was scary to be in a situation at all, taking a major one. And then it was like our family stayed, so get a highly, an accident. It was family, I'm sure it was 3 or 4 days, and then it came to fire. We just decided to react to and shelter is a safe place.
That was very smart of you, because people not even warnings, and considering the size of this hurricane, it is amazing that they're doing so. Listen, you said you live in Miami Beach, correct?
Right.
You've gone through Hurricane 4, Hurricane 4. You dealt with
No,
I dealt with
Matthew in Zero Beach. So I had to bring some rules to my beach. I'm not a Floridian, so hurricanes are not something that I really grew up with or accustomed to. They're terrifying. Matthew was a terrifying. Zero Islands had we lost power for 2 days where I was, my home. I had no storm damage. It was, we were prepared, but it was not there for this.
Do you think people take Irma more seriously than because it comes of Harvey and Jose right behind?
Absolutely. I mean, we saw what Harvey did, and I have family. If it's all that really safe and I'm sure, I hope that everyone knows that.
Yeah. And listen, here's anything no one knows, because it's a science, but it's not an exact science. It's going to hit around Sunday morning, and start to be the worst or at its worst. But you don't know the damage it's going to cause. You don't have no idea when you're going to get home and what you're going to find when you get there.
Exactly. That's part of the decision. That's part of the leave. It's all hard to say. You don't know what it's facing. If we and beyond 2 or 3 weeks, we're going to in this building. What's your property like? What are you going to be able to get back in once we, me as an attorney, and he has claims. It's hard to make that call. Say, go. What do we do? We decided to stay, even though we couldn't have power, weeks and weeks, and we don't conflict with the man. We should act. We should have been scary. And other times, we're glad to stay. We get back to the beach and see what our home is going to look like.
Well, wish you and your husband all the best, and of course, Ivy, 3-month-old birthday. Interesting spending it in shelter, but we hope that you guys are safe. Thank you so much. We'll check back with you, okay?
Thank you.
We come right back. There's much more on this monster storm.
Islands, Manatee, Soda, Harvey, Soda, you may see the hurricane warning. This is closer, but more in a few minutes.
The very latest wolf is that we are under increase. Key terms of 180 per hour to 1.